Hey folks, Valentin the Mad here, and today we'll be looking at the destruction effects in the Company of Heroes 3 pre-alpha preview. As that suggests, it's still a very early version of the game, so this video is mostly an overview of what's there, and not a full analysis and verdict. Now, let's see what we currently have. Just like in the first game, practically everything will respond. You have a few objects here and there that only show some limited damage, but for the most part, you can completely transform the map as the fight goes on. Beginning with terrain, you'll see damaged by explosives, and that damage will remain permanently. At the moment, the response is some form of decal with bump mapping. There is no actual deformation of the terrain, at least as far as I saw. A cool thing about it though is that you have different decals based on where the explosive landed. So if you hit a grassy area, there will be some burned vegetation in the Curator decal. But if you hit a dirt road, it looks different. Of course there will be issues sometimes, but that is the general rule. And speaking of vegetation, most of it can be destroyed. As I mentioned the grass, but also bushes and small trees. There are games where you have a big burned decal on the terrain, but the grass and vegetation remain unharmed. So this kind of thing is quite important. But big trees tend to survive, and I've seen some more remains live through further bombing runs. Now as for the buildings, what we have is the variations approach. Pre-made breaking points in the buildings for when they're hit by explosives, like you have in the first CoH or in the Battlefield games. It makes sense, especially when a multiplayer component is planned. At the moment it is rough, both looks-wise, and you will see projectiles going through walls, but there is something that can be an issue even in the full game. This is the destroyed state of one of the buildings, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of it left. So while the building is still operational, if any of those parts take a shell, there will be no response. That's an issue. It makes sense to have some of it be indestructible for the ruins model, but this is way too much. And I should note that some buildings can go beyond that and be completely turned into a pile of rubble. Lastly, we have the vehicles. There is no vehicle damage yet that I've seen, and characters go right through them when they're destroyed, but they do stay permanently. It's safe to assume that the functionality for destroyed vehicles will be as it was in the first game. They'll basically stay there and provide cover until they're damaged and destroyed in the ongoing battle. So this is the state in the pre-alpha preview. Overall the functionality is much like the first game. The vast majority of the map can be destroyed or at least will respond. And it's really cool seeing clean looking locations gradually turn into a mess. And I am very curious to see what building destruction will look like in the full game. It's clearly in a very rough, work in progress shape right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe for more response related content coming your way soon. Until next time.